Ladies and gentlemen, good day. I am Joseph C. Lahira, faculty member of the College of Criminal Justice, University of Bohol. This is the image of our university. It is located in Dr. Cecilio Putong Street, Tagbilaran City, Bohol, Philippines. University of Bohol is my alma mater and one of the top performing schools in the Philippines. That is why I am always proud to be part of this institution. Each establishment needs a security to ensure everyone's safety. Security is very important because it will prevent us from harm or danger. The researcher came to the point of view to study about the level of effectiveness of security officers in policy and regulations within Tagbilaran City Mall. Ladies and gentlemen, I am very honored to present to you the title of this research. The level of effectiveness of security officers in policies and regulations within Tagbilaran City Malls. Author, yours truly, Joseph C. Lahira. Positions, faculty member, department, College of Criminal Justice, and then the receipt number and email address. Background: effectiveness of security officer. Second, policies and regulations within Tagbilaran City Mall. Ladies and gentlemen, here are the objectives of my study. First, to identify the level of effectiveness of security officers in policies and regulations in Tagbilaran City Mall. To be able to provide informations about the importance of effective security officers in Tagbilaran City Mall. Ladies and gentlemen, there are the 5 theories under theoretical background. First is the organizational theory by Hatch, 1997. Second, theory of security by Cortus, 2012. Third, the modern general rest theory by Bert Almer, 2014. Fourth, the use of force theory by 2012. Then the last one theory is the theory of national security by Nadia Shadlo. Organizational theory by Hatch is most basic definitions of an assembly of people working toward to achieve common objectives through the divisions of labor. An organization provides a means of using individual strengths within a group to achieve more than can be accomplished by a aggregate efforts of group members working individually. Business organizations are formed to deliver goods or services to customers in such a manner that they can realize the effort at a conclusions of transactions. The theory of security, according to Ron Cortus, security is a protection of a person, property, or organizations from attack. The theory of security is to know the types of possible attacks, to be aware of the motivations for attacks and your relationship to those motives. The security of defense against the threats to make it difficult to attack, threaten, countermeasures, or make a preemptive attack on a source of threat. Next theory explains the modern general rest theory. According to Bert Almer, modern general rest definitions has the advantage that it covers a wide field of different rest and rest problems as specified in the insurance test, and a great collections of rest situations claims occurred with corresponding lost amount is available in Claims Act. In fact, I believe Bertel Almer is one of the belief that any actuary or mathematician starting his researches is arrest theory or in arrest statistics should begin his studies by a series of actual claims act. Next, the use of force. The duty of the security guard are to uphold the law in terms of detection and deterrence of crime. The major of security agency practice this MARTA: detect, deter, observe, and report. Security guards can make citizens arrest or act as authorized agent of the law. Most of the security guards have previous military or police experience. Security training has also evolved over time, just as compensation has also increased to attract more competent individuals, specifically those who had prior police or military trainings and experience. And lastly, for the theory of national security, security guards are also employed as bodyguard and are usually non-uniform and highly trained in order to defend life and property. Different requirements are to have complied for the applications as security guard depending on the state of role of the office. For instance, in North Carolina, security officers must be licensed and certified by the Private Protective Services Board or PPSB. In California, security agent must obtain a license from the Bureau of Security and Investigative Services or BSIS. Ladies and gentlemen, the next slide is the methodology. First is the quantitative design employing a survey type method. Second is the major malls located in Tagbilaran City. So in this slide, this is the distribution of respondent of the various demographic. Asibin pa na? Sige. Balik ko sa methodology ha. Ladies and gentlemen, the next presentation is the methodology. First, we have used the quantitative design employing a survey type method. Then second is the mall located in Tagbilaran City. So based on my presentation, you can see the different malls: Island City Mall, Alturas Mall, BQ Mall, Marcila Mall, Altasita Mall, Galleria Mall. And then based on the respondent, I got only 10 security officers from Island City Mall, Alturas, BQ, Marcila, Altasita, and Galleria to make it 60 respondent. And then for the citizens and customers, also 10 respondent in each mall for the total of 120. Next presentation is the research question. What is the overall level of effectiveness of security officers in policies and regulations in every mall? Second, is there a significant relationship between the residents and security officers of respondents? Third question, is there a significant degree of difference in the level of effectiveness of security officers in conducting policies and regulations in every mall as prescribed by perceived by residents and security officers? So based on the research questions, so the methods of that is the results of the survey. Ladies and gentlemen, I will present to you the demographic profile of the respondents. So in these slides, the distributions of respondents to the various demographic elements presented below. So a total of 120 respondents are the target of this study. So the method random sampling is used to gather respondent. So as you can see in the table, These are the number of distributions of respondents from the total value of 120. The overall level of effectiveness of security officers in conducting policies and regulations within malls are highly effective. Respondents' answers are as follows. The highest level of effectiveness is that security officers are helpful at all times with a weighted mean of 3.84 interpreted with strongly agree. The lowest level effectiveness is that security officers handle assistance with politeness at all times with a weighted mean of 3.53 interpreted the same. So the composite mean is 3.62 interpreted as highly effective. Ladies and gentlemen, the next presentation is the level of effectiveness of security officers as perceived by the local residents. So the level of effectiveness of security officers as perceived by the residents are highly effective. Some answers are as follows. The highest level of effectiveness is that security officers are helpful at all times with a weighted mean of 8.88 interpreted with strongly agree. Strongly agree. Strongly agree that the lowest level of effectiveness is that security officers handle assistance with politeness at all times with a weighted mean of 3.32 interpreted the same. So the composite mean is 3.50 interpreted as highly effective. So the next presentation, ladies and gentlemen, is the level of effectiveness of security officers as perceived by the residents are highly effective. Some answers as follows. The highest level of effectiveness is that security officers are doing a good job in maintaining peace and order inside malls, all at the time with the weighted mean of 3.82 interpreted with strongly agree. So the lowest level of effectiveness is that security officers treat all persons equally without discriminations. At all times with weighted means 3.62 interpreted the same. So the composite mean is 3.74 and it will interpreted as highly effective. Then the conclusions, ladies and gentlemen, these are the conclusions of my study. So as a result, were analyzed after conducting the study, we finally concluded that all security officers from the different malls within Tagbilaran City do not know how to deal with a crisis situations like typhoons, hurricanes, earthquake, and etc. They do not know what to do in case of terrorist attack. In dealing with customers, security officers must control their anger and emotions. Second, security officers must limit the use of force when apprehend criminals inside or outside the establishment. The gender and age of significant determinant of the respondent voting behavior. Overall, the security officers within Tagbilaran City Malls are duly responsible for imposing policies and regulation therein. Residents are in good conditions and safe in every mall. So there is a significant degree of difference in level of effectiveness of security officers in conducting policy and regulations. So in every mall between local resident and security officers, results revealed that there is a significant difference in the level of effectiveness between the types of respondents with EP value of 0.00, which is less than 0.05. Hence, the null hypothesis was rejected. So security officers have a higher level of effectiveness as the local resident customers' feedback. Ladies and gentlemen, here are the recommendations for the researcher. Based on the findings of our study, the researcher came up to the recommendations that the best way for the security officers to improve the perception of the customers towards them is through the customer service they provide, not just to direct clients or customers, but to general community who they encounter in day-to-day living. The presence of security officers on site provides security and comfort the customers and guests, so having them in any area is important for the reputations of a business or a company that is based on the responses of both the security officers and the resident customers. Second, recommendations. Training will also make a real improvement to how security officers perform. Their agencies must provide seminars, crisis preventions, and participates in unarmed training, judo or self-defense classes. Armed training like in a shooting range to improve their skills and abilities. Agencies also hire officers with clean background and good reputations. Security officers must always be alert in having an eye for security and safety. Security agencies have permissions to have joint pieces of training with some schools within criminology departments that are led by the Philippine National Police, the Bureau of Jail Management and Penology, the Bureau of Fire Protection, and the Armed Forces of the Philippine Personnel. Ladies and gentlemen, here are the impact and outcomes of the study. First, the local resident will be aware of how effective the security officers are in maintaining policies and regulations of the malls in Tagbilaran City. Ladies and gentlemen, the bibliography. So, there are the reference cited, came from different sources and books, published books and journals. As one of the presenter of this conference, I am very grateful to experience this kind of event. I gain a lot of knowledge and learnings from my fellow presenters. Just, this is really one of a kind experience as a college instructor. Besides of having other priorities, but still I am very lucky to make it successful today. Lastly, thank you to all the organizers and all the virtual audience for the time and full cooperations. God bless us all.